Okay, this is the Evansville Wartime Museum, and we are here today with Shirley Grossman. Shirley, can you give us your full name and tell us when you were born?
My name is Shirley Ann Grossman, and I was born March 22nd, 1934.
Okay, can you tell us a little about your family growing up here in Evansville and where you went to school?
Yeah, I went to Fulton School. Now it's not there anymore, but I went to Fulton School my whole time, and then I went to Central High School. And well, it was still there, but they tore it down then later. But no, I lived at the same address, 1517 West Florida Street. And I don't know if that area is still there or not, but
So that was, West Florida, so you would have been, that's west of First Avenue, right? On the west side of First Avenue in Florida, in that area?
yeah.
Yeah, okay,
The old cotton mill was behind our house,
Okay.
where Boots
Yeah.
Manufacturing and the old cotton mill.
Gotcha.
And when I was a child, us kids in the neighborhood would play baseball on the old cotton mill property there.
Gotcha.
So,
Well, Shirley, what was your maiden name? What was your family name?
Myers,
Myers.
Myers, Myers, like Bristol Myers.
Right, okay.
Now, do you remember as a kid all the activities that were going on here in Evansville during World War II?
Well, not too much. Just kids in the neighborhood. I know that they wouldn't ask the people about the tires on their cars because they, needed that for the war effort. And I know when us kids went to school, they had books with stamps that you could buy. And when you filled them up, I guess you got a war bond. I forget how that went.
Okay.
But no, we couldn't wait to fill our book up.
Yeah. Did you? So how many books did you fill up?
I have
More than
no
one?
idea. Have no idea.
But you did some, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
that was one thing. And then when we went to school, they get packets of seeds, and we would go and sell them.
Okay. Okay.
Like kids do now for candy bars and stuff. We did packets of seeds.
Now you said you grew up near Boots Manufacturing, and they made a lot of things for the war.
Yes, they did.
Where did your father work?
My dad worked then at National Furniture Company, and then later he went to a guard at not Chrysler, but what's the other one that was in
Servell?
Huh?
Servell?
No.
Republic? That was Republic, Servell. Hoosier Cardinal? Hoosier Stampede?
No.
Hercules?
Huh?
Hercules?
No. It was like Chrysler, because when Chrysler moved out of town, they did too.
So they were making parts for the Chrysler plant.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can remember that,
Yeah.
because then Dad was out of a job, and so he worked for the Evansville Water Works, a filtering plant,
Oh, okay.
but he was a guard then. I know we walked everywhere. We didn't, Dad didn't have a car until I guess I was a freshman in high school before my dad got a car.
Okay.
Either took a bus or you walked.
Do you ever remember going downtown during the war years?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You remember seeing a lot of soldiers in town?
Yeah, especially that seemed like they hung out at Walgreens. You'd always see them getting a soda. They
Yeah.
were at Walgreens. It was on the corner of,
Fourth and Main.
could have been on the corner there.
My mother worked there at the soda fountain.
What was her name?
Belle Green. She didn't work there until after the war, though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's where she met my father.
Well, I worked with a girl named Carol Cleveland. That was her married name, but she worked there on the soda fountain there.
Yeah, well, Mom's name would have been Hughes when she was working there, Belle Hughes.
What was it?
Belle Hughes.
Oh,
So in the neighborhood, did you guys, were you associated with a certain church in that area when you were growing up?
yeah, I went to a Little Baptist church because my mother was Catholic, and so
Okay.
my dad wasn't, so we went to a Baptist church.
And that was in your neighborhood?
Yeah,
Okay,
the next block from us.
next
you
block
know.
from it, okay.
But now the kids in the neighborhood, I always remember that at Christmas, you couldn't let your kids do this now, but we'd all walk out to St. Boniface to the midnight mass.
Okay, okay.
And, you know, there'd always be about 7 or 8 of us, you know,
Yeah.
that we'd walk out there for
Okay.
midnight mass.
Now, did you have friends mainly just in your neighborhood on that side, or did you have other friends that were maybe like on the other side of First Avenue or different
No,
places?
ours was just around.
Just around the
And I
neighborhood?
can remember when my mother used to go house to house and getting money, because we didn't have a paved road there in front of our house. They'd put oil on that
Oh, okay.
to keep
Keep the
the,
dust down?
yeah,
Yeah, okay.
different ways.
Yeah. Did you have a bike growing up?
Yeah,
Did you ride your bikes around different
Yeah.
places all
and there was an Ortiz swimming pool
Uh-huh.
out by, it was Emerald School, I think it's called Cedar Hall now.
Okay.
And we would walk out there in the summer and go to the swimming pool.
Oh, okay.
And Fulton School didn't have a library, and I read a lot. And we would walk to Emerald's. They had a library in their basement, or we'd go to Willard Library.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask you, if you went to Willard Library a lot. 'Cause
But we had to walk
you had to walk,
farther there than we did.
yeah, that was
to-
probably a mile probably, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So.
It was pretty far.
Yeah,
And back then, we didn't have, they have cafeterias in the schools. And we didn't have one. But once a year, they'd have a bean dinner, and you bought a ticket, and Mother always let us go to that because we didn't have to walk so far.
okay.
And we'd have baked beans and a hot dog on a bun. And some milk. And we always look forward to that, you know, because then we didn't have to walk. We had to walk quite a bit because we were on the line from Emerald School to Fulton School. And we had to walk all the way up to Fulton School and back at lunch and in the winter with snow and everything. But we did it, you know, without pushing it. You just knew that's what you had to do.
Right.
So did you have neighborhood grocery stores that was
Yeah.
real close to where
But
you lived?
my grandmother lived with us, and her brother lived in St. Phillips or St. Wendell, and he brought produce in the summertime in baskets, and Mother and my grandma, they well, we had to help too. There was just me and my sister. They would can all this, and then we had a fruit cellar underneath the house where they'd put all the canned goods, you know.
Okay.
So you didn't buy too much from the grocery store back then.
Yeah.
And we made soap for laundry.
Uh-huh.
Mom and Grandma always had a great big kettle out in the backyard, and you made soap and all that stuff. Salve, even made salve for your cuts and bruises.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. This made everything back then.
Yeah.
My mother made our clothes, even our winter coats. She just made everything.
Quilts? Did she quilt?
My grandma did, because they would put the quilting horses up in the living room, and they would always quilt in the wintertime
Right.
in that living room.
So did you guys have a, was it an oil furnace or a coal furnace?
Coal
You had a
furnace.
coal furnace?
Yeah, there was 2 garages like out in the back, and one was for coal, and the other, we didn't have a car, so Dad, we could fix it up for girls,
Oh, okay.
you know,
Like your
playing
clubhouse-
house and
playhouse and
stuff,
everything?
yeah,
Okay.
out there. But he'd always say, I'd say, Dad, I'll fill up the coal buckets. He said, don't you carry them. I'll let you fill them up,
Uh-huh.
but you can't carry them. Well, I would if he wasn't home. I'd put them through my legs and carry them up to the back door.
Because it was too heavy? He thought it was
Yeah.
too heavy for you?
Uh-huh. And
Okay.
he'd get after me. He said, I told you not to do that. But I remember now we get all of our meat, you know, prepared. Back then, Mother would always get them chickens and wring their neck and throw them out in the backyard, you know, and then she'd get that steam pot, you know, and
Oh, to get the feathers?
Yeah.
Boil them a little bit and then pluck all the
I
feathers?
always wanted to help her with it.
Pluck the chickens, yeah.
I thought that was kind of neat.
Yeah.
You know.
Did you guys have any pets?
No,
No pets?
no pet.
Was there dogs and cats in the neighborhood though that other people had?
Not too many.
Not too
no.
many, they tried
Well, across the street they did, but they had about 8 kids, I think.
Yeah.
But they had pets, you know. I know they had chickens in their backyard. Well, I guess they had to do everything because they had quite a few kids. And the one was my age, she was my girlfriend, and I said, well, I gotta go home, I gotta go to the bathroom. She said, you can do it here. I said, oh, no, I won't. If you had to go through a chicken yard,
Oh,
and it was one of them commodes that when you sat down and it flushed, and that's how they did, you know, and then they had water in their kitchen, you know. But I said, no, I gotta go home. But, you know, we played outside and everything, and it's just a different world now for kids, and you can't let them out of your sight. Back then, you know, we could go to the shows, and they were 10 cents to go to a show. You know.
Which theater did you go to,
We
Jennifer?
went to the Maryland and the Columbia show.
Okay.
And I remember my dad was in the Navy. He got drafted in the Navy, and I don't know if it was before or after he got out of the Navy, but him and Mother took us to go see Gone with the Wind. And all I can remember is her making a dress out of drapes in that big, I think it was called Terra,
Yeah.
and making a dress out there.
That draped, oh, the drape, yeah. So,
But, you
so-
know,
yeah.
then my dad, he had always let us, he had a wagon, there was just 2 girls, but the next door there was 3 boys, and 2 of them was my age, and the other one was my sister's age, and the other was too young. But we could collect stuff and walk all the way down to Franklin Street Bridge, and underneath there was a junkyard, and we could go down there and sell junk.
No.
We thought that was something because we got to do that.
Now, was there also in that area along, I guess that's Pigeon Creek, right, through there?
Yeah.
Was there people that lived down there too, next to
I
the?
don't ever remember that,
Okay.
but I remember there was a big park there on Maryland Street.
Oh, okay.
My mother went there when she was young, and I think there's just skateboarding or something.
Yeah, it's right there. There's a softball field back there too.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
a big park.
Big
You
park.
know, her and Dad went there when they were young,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't remember the name anymore. But
What year did you start, or what year did you start going to high school at Central?
well, I graduated from grade school in 1948,
Okay.
and then I went to graduated from Central in 1952.
52.
Yeah, my sister graduated in 49, and it was just, I know one year my sister, I don't know if I should be telling this or not, but Central kids went on strike because they were getting rid of their basketball coach or some kind of
Okay.
coach. And my sister walked out to him. My dad said, "You don't even know what that's about."
Got her out of school.
Yeah, she got, I walked out of school. I wasn't in high school then. She got out of school.
Well, I wonder if it worked. Did they get to keep the coach?
I don't think they did, but I wouldn't swear to it. But I remember his name was Bretts, I think, Coach Bretts. It's funny how you can remember a few things, you know, and you can't other things.
Would you go to basketball and football games during?
Yeah, but I didn't know a thing about football.
Okay.
And my dad, we'd have to walk different places or take a bus. And I said, "Oh, I gotta get ready. I'm going to the football game tonight, Dad." And he'd say, "You don't know a thing about football." I said, "But I sit there and watch all the kids walk by." He is always telling us that because one time kids, you know, get different fads about their hair. I was in the bathroom for a real long time, and they kept knocking on the door, and finally I come out. My dad about had a fit. I had a blonde streak in my hair. Well, all the kids was doing it,
Oh,
and Dad said, I said, "Well, Dad, all the kids in high school doing it." He said, "Well, I guess you'd jump off of the bridge if they told you that everybody else was doing it."
so did you use like some peroxide to make
Yeah,
it?
I don't know how I did it anymore. But somebody must have told us girls how to do it, you know. But it was different times then. And the kids still got them fads, you know, they'll let their hair get a little longer.
Sure.
I know I got a great grandson that's got his hair real bushy here in
Yeah.
front. And my granddaughter, she said, I told him I'd give him $5 if he got. She said, no, he won't cut that off. And I told her, I said, about my blonde streak, I said, well, it'll pass.
So when you graduated high school, what did you start working somewhere?
Yeah, I worked for the Fine Brothers in the office, and they owned all the theaters then, all except the Lowell's and the Majestic. They didn't own them too, but they owned all the rest of them.
So you were...
And our office was above the Carlton
Okay.
on Main Street, and my best friend, she was his secretary and I was his general, and we could always get in the theaters free.
Okay.
Somebody said, oh, my granddaughter's husband said, Grandma, where'd you meet Grandpa at? And I said, I was a pickup. And they laughed and they said, a pickup? I said, yeah, I came out of the Grand Theater. Me and my friend, we had went to the show there that night. We come out and she had her dad's car. And we got in there and a boy that I grew up with drove next to us. And we got to talking and everything and told him bye. We was leaving and everything and didn't think too much of it. And then later, my husband was in the car with him. He called me one day, a date.
Oh, there you go.
I told him I was a pickup. But I didn't have a car and she didn't either, but we'd get our dad's car every once in a while and switch, you know. But no.
Was there a certain place in Evansville that you would drive around the streets?
Parkway.
Parkway?
Yeah, I think it's a veterinarian place now, I'm not for sure. But we'd always go and drive around, you know.
So what area of Evansville was that?
The west side.
On the west side? Down
Yeah,
that way?
on the expressway there.
Off of Division Street? Was
no,
Division Street
the
then?
other,
or-
Diamond Avenue.
yeah,
Okay,
off of Diamond Avenue out further.
okay.
Yeah, all the kids' rides and all that, I always drive around.
Yeah,
I know they said, my granddaughter, she talked to her other grandmother and she said, well, Grandma? Her other grandma said, well, when you went with the boy, all you get was a Coke. And she said, what'd you get? I said, it's a Coke. She said, how come you never got nothing? We said, well, the boys didn't have much money then, that's why we got a Coke.
yeah.
But it was a good time, you know. We'd go out to Bossy Field every year when the fireworks was on.
Okay.
And sometimes we didn't go in, we just sat outside on the benches, you know. And I can remember my mother and my aunt taking us out there, and some soldiers came by and asked my mom and my aunt different directions where they could get, you know. And I can remember that. And then I asked my mom when I got older, I said, Mom, did they want to get you a date? She said, no, they just wanted to know how to get somewhere, you know. But
So during the war around, you know, where your dad worked and everything, was it anything that was restricted? Were did they have fences around any of those plants? Fences, or trying to you had to have a pass to go to work? Was there security
I don't
around
think
those?
Dad did, but I wasn't for sure on that. But when my dad passed away, we were going with my mother through things, and my dad made $1,000 a year.
Oh.
But then when he went to be a guard, wish I could remember the name of that. It was with a B, I think.
Bucyrus Erie?
Huh?
Was it Bucyrus Erie?
No,
No.
no,
Was
that
Boots?
was in the west side.
Well, Boots? Boots?
No, that's Boots Manufacturing.
Briggs?
Briggs.
Yeah.
Briggs.
That's
There you
what
go.
it was, Briggs.
Okay, Briggs.
And
Okay.
Dad, that's when he bought a car and everything.
Okay. Okay.
Because it would be a long time but he was real funny about that. My son asked my mother, he asked me, he said, Mom, is Grandma and Grandpa really poor? And I said, well, no, not really. He said, well, Grandma wants to get a color TV and they got a black one, and Grandpa said no, not until that goes out. And then one time I can remember she wanted a new refrigerator, and Dad finally got her one, and I thought that was unusual, but he got an electric thing for her to cook on free.
Oh, okay.
That's why she got a new refrigerator.
So you get an extra appliance when you bought the refrigerator. Okay, okay.
But my son, he couldn't understand that. I said, well, honey, your grandpa went through the Depression, and he was afraid to buy anything, That's
Yeah.
why he waited so long to get a car,
Right, right.
But,
Having a loan was a scary thing back
oh,
then.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Is there anything else you'd like to tell us today before we conclude our interview?
Well, I wanted to tell you about the wartime.
Okay.
In our neighborhood, when one of the fathers or son was in service, they had a flag with stars on it, and you put it in your window, and people knew that
Right.
you had someone in the service, Like my dad, he was on an oil tanker, and he said he was on watch one night, and he thought it was a submarine, and I guess he called out, and he laughed later. He said it was a great big fish.
Was he in the Pacific on an oil tanker?
I don't know, cause me and my sister, I guess, cause I was about 7 or 8, I guess. I wasn't worried about my dad getting hurt. I was worried about the box he sent home all the time with stuff in it. We got grass skirts, we got them other things you shake, and he was always sending
It must have been Pacific, probably, yeah.
Yeah, he was always sending us something, and we thought that was something else.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't think our dad would be in,
Right.
because Mom never said anything about it.
Sure.
She did get, when he came home from the service, he had a tattoo on his arm. She did say something about that. That just wasn't done back then.
Yeah.
But now they got tattoos everywhere. But he had one on his arm, and she didn't like that at all. But anyway, and I remember my grandma shaking, I guess, we got milk with the creamer on the top. And am I going too much?
No, keep going.
Okay. She would get that creamer off and shake it up and make butter out of it during the war. And let's see, we had ice men back there, because we had an ice box. That was before Mom and Dad got a refrigerator. And you had a card that you put in the window with 50, 25, 100.
I have some of those
Right.
cards.
Huh?
I have some of those at my house.
Really?
Yeah, I do.
And we would get up on the truck where he would do it with the ice pick, and the kids would eat them ice chips. We thought that was something, you know. And then the milkman would always bring the milk and put it by your door, you know. But, yeah, I tried to tell my grandkids some of that stuff, you know, when they were, well, they're 40 and 45 now, but when they were young, I'd make lighthouses out of shoeboxes. Did you do that or remember that?
No.
Probably don't. But anyway, we'd cut out stars and different things and put colored tissue paper and put a candle, melt it and put it in there, and a hole in top and a string you to pull them up and down the street at night in the summertime. Well, I made them for them kids, and the kids down the street wanted to know if I'd make them one, so I had to make them one too. But, you know, different things like that. You try to instill your kids about the old times, you know. It wasn't so bad. I can remember in the neighborhood making a box car. And my dad had a barrel about this tall, I guess. And the one boy, they draw names. He got me. But see, he was glad because we used that barrel. And he knew how to put the wheels on that thing and it would turn and everything. But I had to push. He got in the thing.
You got to steer and you got to push it, right?
Yeah, I was a girl, so I had to push. But it was fun, you know.
Right.
And then in the summer, Dad had let us take our wagon. There was a glass place off of Fulton Avenue, and we could go over there and get sand, and then Dad made us a sand pile, and we could play in that. You know, we were older, but it was something to do, you know. But, and then we would make guns out of wood, put wood here, and an old inner tube if somebody had it in their neighborhood. Then you'd put it on the end, do it here, and flip it around the back, and you had a nail here, and it would release that.
Oh, so you'd shoot nails.
But different things, you know, I can remember we do. But no, we did have sidewalks then. But Mother and Dad, or when my grandma was living, we'd sit on the front porch at night in a swing, and the people next door sit outside, and they were from Kentucky. And, you know, you'd hear more old stories, and it was nice. We liked to do that.
Yeah,
you know, people don't do that anymore, but it was nice back then. Really liked it. But I tell you, when my grandma and mom made stuff, they made tomato jam. And you don't hear any of that, and that was so good.
Yeah, I had that when I was a kid. My grandma used to make it.
That was good, and you never hear about it anymore.
It's almost like ketchup, right?
Yeah.
Sort of like that, yeah.
But I never did can much. My sister loved it. I said, did you get tired of helping with the kid? No. Her and her husband did can spaghetti sauce, everything, you know. And I never would can.
Yeah.
I would sew, but she would can.
That's a lot of work doing spaghetti sauce canning.
Yeah.
You gotta boil those tomatoes, get the skins off of them, and do everything.
Well, we'd make burgoo with my husband's older brother, but his sister lived on a farm, and we'd make that. Everybody had to do so much.
So his older brother was the one that had Hornville Tavern?
Do what?
Was his older brother the one that had Hornville?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Like for
so we'd go to Maryland's, and everybody I was in charge of boiling pinto beans and making pork, I think it was.
yeah.
But everybody, always brothers, all would, and we'd make that, and then I'd freeze that, you
Yeah.
know, that was good.
How many gallons of burgoo did you make then?
I don't know, but we'd have them in big jars,
Those big jars,
you know.
yeah.
And I know I put one in my sister's freezer, and I filled it too high and it broke in there.
Made a mess.
I told her, I said, I didn't know it would expand like that. But you live and learn. Now, we always made Ribley soup. Have you ever heard of that? Ribley soup. It's a German soup.
Okay.
And my mother made it, me and my sister make it, but my boy's wife doesn't make it. But my sister called one time and she said, hey, I know somebody that makes Ribley soup. And I said, who? She said, look in the paper. In Jasper, there's a older restaurant up there, I forget the name of it.
Uh-huh.
And they had on their Ribley soup.
Huh.
And we all loved the Ribley soup.
Yeah.
It's a German soup. And like fried noodles.
Okay.
Have you had fried noodles? with
Yeah, I have had
breadcrumbs?
fried. Yeah.
Well, our crack, when we were building our house, we rented next to it. He come over and I was making that. He said, we make that too. I said, well, do you have prunes on a dish on the side? He said, no, we have blackberries.
No.
That's what you had for
Yes.
dinner, you know, was
Yeah,
the,
fruit on the side. Okay.
yeah. And you just had some fruit with it of some sort, you know.
Okay.
But, no, that was a good old time.
Sure.
We could play hide and seek at night and everything, you know. And I know one time it snowed real hard, you know. But Dad had us a real long sled. And we said, Dad, can we walk out? There was a donut shop then by R.T. School. And there wasn't no cars out or nothing. We said, can we walk out there and get some donuts? He said, yeah, don't tarry, just get out there and get them and come back. Well, we did, and you know, you couldn't let kids do that anymore. And it was something to do that, you know. But no, we had fun in our neighborhood just making toys out of wooden things and sand pits, you know, or sand boxes and different things. Getting our ice chips off the ice trucks.
Is there anything that you'd like to tell younger people nowadays that, what's that question you were?
Yeah. Like any advice you would give today's generation?
Just do a lot of things with your kids, you know, and let them enjoy life a little bit without all this rough stuff on the side, you know. But like Mom and Dad, you know, taking you to a ball game or, you know, that's nice, I think, when the families get together and do things.
Right.
Yeah.
It really is. And then you got your memories when you get older. I can remember my husband saying that when he was in the Korean War, in a book he saw a Chevrolet hardtop, green and cream on the bottom. He said, I didn't meet him till after he got out of service. He said, I carried that picture around the whole time I was getting that car and by golly, when he got out, he got that car.
got that car.
He had left his other car with his mom and dad, you know, and he got that car. he was really proud of that car.
Sure.
And when we got married, he had that car, you know. And well, we got married in that church out there.
Mm-hmm.
And but no, I had a good childhood. I took my confirmation at St. John's Church downtown. It's not there anymore.
Okay.
And then Al, my husband, had his confirmation at St. Paul's over on Highway 65.
Okay.
And that's where he went. So, no, you know, it's nice when your kids, they get a religion too, you know. Like I say, my dad was this every day, and mother was Catholic, but he wanted us to send us to church, you know.
Yeah.
And that's good training for him too,
Mhm.
you know. So, but where is this museum? Is it different than
Yeah, the Evansville Wartime Museum is out by the airport.
oh, is it?
Yes, on Old Petersburg, or on Old Petersburg Road.
Yeah.
And we have items there about Evansville during World War II.
Yeah.
And then we've got an area with about the veterans from World War II from the Evansville area that served.
Yeah.
And we've got areas about the women that worked in the war plants and
Yeah,
things
that
like
was
that.
something else with the women working in the plants.
Yeah, so
But-
sometimes, Heritage Woods, we had an event a couple weeks ago, and they took some people out to the museum to see it, so
Yeah.
you may keep an ear out if you want to come out and visit it sometime.
Okay, I will,
Yeah,
because I
yeah.
didn't know you had it.
Yeah.
Of course, I don't get out much except for doctors.
Well, Shirley, we sure appreciate your time today to telling us about growing up here in Evansville, and we thank you for spending time with us.
Yeah, and you know, it was a good time because we went swimming out to Burdett Park, and I think they had a skating ring downtown. Had a bossy
A
field.
lot of things to do.
They had a lot of things for kids to do, and that's good.
Yeah.
You know where the Freedom place is down on Riverside?
Mm-hmm.
Then, did you know that they came from the train station that was down there?
Yeah, the CNEI.
But when I went, it was
Community Center.
community center, yeah. See, so they had different things
Different
back then, you know, for you to do. And I enjoyed this talk today.
Okay.
Thank you. We did too. Thank you
Because
very
I
much.
like to talk about the old times.
Yeah.
But I tell the people that I sat with at lunch and dinner that I got my memories, you know, and that's good.
That's right.
You always enjoy thinking about your memories.